I've always wanted to tell my side. And it feels good to be able to tell my story after holding it in for so long. The people that say that I lied, they're right. I did lie on stand for Todd. But for everyone that says that I am a liar, I just say that, you don't know me. A lot of people think Todd's innocent when he's not. I know how Todd was. And I don't really care what people say. As long as I know the truth, I could care less. Everyone's so worried about Texas executed an innocent man when they did not execute an innocent man. I know Todd is guilty. You don't know the whole story. You don't know my life with Todd, but I hope after watching this you do. This is the truth. It's crazy that the first day I ever met him, there was a red flag and I dismissed it. The first time I met Todd, I was working at a Dairy Queen. I was a senior in high school.
Hey.
He goes, well, aren't you Stacy? I said, yes. He says, don't you drive that white pickup? I said, yes, I do. He says, don't you live in those apartments? I said, actually, I do. At the time, never thought about how did this man know all this stuff about me already, and I had never seen him a day in my life. But it's like I had already been being followed and watched. And he said, well, my brother wants to go out with you. And I said, well, why don't he come ask me? And he said, well, he's shy.
Yeah, sure, we can hang out.
When I met him that evening, Todd was the one that started talking to me, and actually the whole evening, he talked to me the whole evening. His brother actually never talked to me. So it was Todd that I ended up dating. He seemed like a really good person. He was so nice to me, and he showed me so much attention. Years later, I had asked his brother about, hey, Todd told me that he come in and asked me to go out with you, actually. And he had told me that, no, Stacy, that's not true. I didn't know you. After everything that's happened, I see so many red flags that I just dismissed. So many. This photograph of me and Todd. This actually was taken on Todd's 20th birthday. That was the day he changed. That's the day I told him I was pregnant with Amber. I was 18. I told him I was pregnant, and he said, you better not be. He goes, I didn't ask for a kid. I don't want a kid, and I don't want a wife. That's not the life I want. So I'm sure that's why I don't look so happy in this picture. Todd never pushed me, shoved me, slapped me, anything until after I told him I was pregnant for the first time. I was running a bath. We were talking about something.
I was thinking maybe it's time to look for work.
And I just don't think he liked my answer. And he just kind of pushed me. But when he pushed me over the bathtub. And I said, Todd, why did you push me like that? I could have a miscarriage. And he just said, well, that wouldn't be a bad thing. And I was just like, what? So it was a shock to me for him to even push me, but then to say that. It was heartbreaking. But he was my first boyfriend, my first on everything. He was my first. And I did love him. I was in love with him. And I guess I overlooked the little things that really were big things that I shouldn't have overlooked with him. I don't want to be a single mom raising a child. I want him here. I want him to love his daughter and love me too the way I love him. I wanted to do whatever I could just to keep my family together. I realized I was pregnant again. Amber was 8 months old, and I went to the doctor, did a sonogram, and I was pregnant with twins.
Hey.
Hey.
I went home, and Todd came through the door, and I said, hey, I'm pregnant with twins.
Are you kidding me? Again? I didn't even want the first one.
And he starts arguing with me. He starts pushing me. Gets on top of me and he's hitting me. I've never had no man beat me. No one ever beat me like he was doing. Well, I reached over to grab that phone to call 911. He took the phone out of my hand. He starts beating me with the phone. I mean, he beat me with the phone so badly he broke the phone. And then he stops and he reaches for Amber and he says, give me that kid. I'm taking her. She's mine. I didn't know what he was going to do. I kind of throw myself up against her. I said, over my dead body. And he said, well, that can be arranged.
Careful what you wish for.
He just looked like so mad, like he could have killed me. He looked so evil. I chose not to call the cops because I was still young. And I guess I thought, I don't want any more problems. I thought maybe if I did call the cops, maybe they would arrest him and then I'd have to deal with him when he got out. So I just wanted it to be over. I didn't want to deal with him. So I chose not to call the cops. I said, get out of my house. Well, it was about a month or so, 6 weeks. We talked. He apologized. He said, I don't know why I did that. I'm so sorry. I can never apologize enough to you for what I have done. And I believed him. I'm fixing to have the twins. He acts like he's excited now about it. You know, everybody makes mistakes, so I let him back in. I didn't recognize all the evil in Todd because I love Todd. And a lot of times love is blinded. It blinds you from the truth. The twins were 2 months old. I thought Todd was having an affair because he was disappearing a lot. He was saying he was at work at times when I would find out that he wasn't, and that's what started the fight that night.
Are you calling me a liar? Is that what you're saying?
Of course not. You know that's not what I meant.
He started cussing me and yelling, started pushing me around, and then Todd started hitting on me.
I don't owe you an explanation.
Stop, don't.
And he held me down, and Todd beat me until I seen stars. When a woman has a baby, you can start hemorrhaging, and I started bleeding real bad. Todd put me in that bathtub. I had to tell Todd, you know, you've got to call my mom or take me to the hospital because I could die. I said, I have got to go to the hospital. No. No, refused to let me go. I stayed in that tub all night. I honestly just thought I was going to die. I thought that was it. I guess I'd fallen asleep in the tub. I woke up, and Todd was just sitting there. I don't know how long they had been sitting there watching me. I can still today see his face. He said, did you learn your lesson? I said, about what? And he said, about talking back to me. You don't talk back to me. I told you, every time you talk back to me, this is what's going to happen to you. You've got to learn, Stacey. You've got to learn to act right. I was terrified of Todd, and I knew that if I ever was to call the cops, at that time that I would be punished by him. And he would tell me, "You'll never leave me. I'll never let you leave." This is a photograph of the twins. This is actually the very first picture I ever took with the girls. I was so scared because they were so little. But I would ask Amber, which one's Cameron, which one's Carmen, and she could pick them out. She was a good big sister to them. See how young I am in it? When the twins were born, I was 20 years old. I always think, if that girl would have been a little bit stronger, your life could have been a lot different. I wouldn't be sitting here telling my story. She could have just been a little bit stronger. I don't know if I could forgive her, because if she would have just woke up and stepped back and said, "Hey, no, this isn't going to happen," our lives would have ended up different than they are today. After we got married, he said that, "I think that I'm going to go ahead and let you work, and I'm going to stay home and watch the kids." And I was working, paying the bills. I noticed that I did everything on my own. I'd go to work thinking, why do I have him there? I can do this for my girls and me. I don't need him.
You're home late?
Yeah, I had a long day at work.
And so I started standing up more for myself. Even if it was to cause a fight, I'd still stand up.
Or maybe you got a boyfriend I don't know about.
Excuse me?
I remember coming home one night, and he started yelling at me.
Just shut up!
And when I turned around, he just popped me in my mouth. And I looked at him, and I said, "Todd, you can hit me all you want. Come the first of the year, after Christmas, I am going to divorce you. I don't need you.
We're over.
I'm done with all your evilness. I'm moving on and taking my girls with me." I was expecting him to start arguing or backhand me, but he didn't. He didn't say a word. He just looked at me, never said a word. He just never said a word. It was around December the 8th or so, and I heard a knock on the door, and it was some friends of ours, and they were there to share the news of the passing of their baby. She was pregnant, and she had a baby boy that was stillborn. And I was telling Todd, I said, I don't know how they're going to do it. I said, how can you lose your child? That would kill me. I could never lose my child. I don't think I could make it, It's just the worst thing in the world.
It's just terrible.
And Todd was just like, "Yeah, I know, because I know you love the girls more than anybody that walks this earth."
You really do love your girls more than anything. Even me.
I think that planted that idea in his head. Here I'm talking about divorcing him. And so I think when I told Todd how I would feel if I lost my girls, I think maybe he remembered that. I think if I would have never said that, I don't know, maybe things would have been different. Money was always tight because it was only me working and I had 4 mouths to feed. It was December and I was at the house and Todd come in one day with 2 of his friends and they were bringing this icebox in the house. And I said, "Todd, we already have an icebox." He goes, "Well, I'm going to fix it." I said, "What do you mean fix it? It doesn't work?" He says, "No, it doesn't work, but I'm going to fix it." Todd took the icebox and pushed it right to the back door so you couldn't get out. I told him, I said, "Can we at least move it over?" But he refused to. So it just sat there. Looking back now to where the icebox was, if anyone was to try to get in that back door, they couldn't. If anyone was trying to get out of the house, they could not. It was big and it was bulky, and I think it was there for a reason, to block that back door. This is the last picture we ever took together. Me and Todd took the girls to a photo store to get our pictures taken for family pictures. I wanted to give them for Christmas gifts. We're all smiling and he looks so mad. Like he did not want to be there with any of us. I get angry when I look at this picture. You're with the only people that truly loved you, but you're so mad and you look so evil in it. I can't explain Todd's evilness. I can't. On December 22nd of 91, I went back to pick up the family picture with Todd, and then I went to get Amber a Christmas dress, and he said, hey, I want to go, let's go. What are you doing? I said, I'm looking for a Christmas dress for Amber. She doesn't need a Christmas dress. Why are you looking for a dress?
This is our last Christmas together as a family, and if I want her to have a dress, she will.
I turned around, I looked at him, I said, I'm buying my daughter a Christmas dress because I can, and it's my money. And I really don't care what you have to say because, once again, I am divorcing you after Christmas. So I really don't care what you think.
Don't forget I'm divorcing you.
He looked at me. It was like a moment of, I just hate for what you just said to me. I was expecting him to argue with me or to fight me or maybe backhand me, but he didn't say anything. He didn't say a word. And so he got mad and went back to the car. I think he seen a person that was becoming something that he didn't like. A person that was standing up to him saying, hey, I'm done. Enough's enough. I think that was the trigger. I've got to put her back in her place. I've got to take from her to make her that weak woman again because she's getting too strong. Up on December 23rd, 1991, and I went to the twins' bedroom, fed them, gave them their bottles, and we were just playing, and it was almost Christmas time, and I kind of looked up, and Todd was standing at the door and looking in on us.
Oh, Todd, you're up.
Yeah.
And I thought it was unusual for him to get up so early with us because he normally didn't do that. And I just said, what are you doing? He goes, nothing, just watching. He didn't really have a lot to say. Maybe he was having second thoughts watching us play and we were laughing and stuff, but he didn't join with us. He just watched over us that morning.
Well, I gotta go.
And I told Todd I've got to do some errands, and then once I get home, we'll get ready for the holidays. And he didn't say anything. Looking back now, I just wonder sometimes if he was looking in on us thinking, should I do this or should I not?
Of heavy fire coming out of the double windows, with the most fire coming out of the front window.
I had some errands to run that morning. I was standing in line, and a cop came in announcing he was looking for Stacy Willingham. And I was like, well, that's me.
Christmas tree that was in the corner in the living room. There was the remains of plastic toys.
So then I start panicking. And I'm asking him, well, did something happen? Is something wrong? Did something happen to the girls or one of the girls? He goes, ma'am, I don't know. All I know is to take you to the hospital.
This is the kitchen area. The refrigerator has been placed back against the back door where it was upon the arrival of the fire department.
They put me in this little room, and the doctor come in and talk to me, and he says, didn't make it. And I was like, well, what do you mean Amber didn't make it? What are you talking about? Where is she at?
This was the bed where the 2-year-old was found in the middle of the bed.
I start yelling in the ER, where is my daughter? I start going to open doors.
Every joint underneath indicating the fire was underneath the bed.
So I run in there to her. And so I was holding her. And I asked them, where are my twins at? Where are the girls at?
The other side of the entrance, just one of the trip, only 1 year old.
Someone said that they were at a funeral home. And I was like, a funeral home? Why are they at a funeral home? And she says, ma'am, your twins didn't make it either.
This is the east side of the house. This is the room where the babies were found.
And I was just in shock. I just didn't understand. I kept just holding her and rocking her. I just begged, please wake up, Amber. I remember just begging that, just wanting her to wake up. And for it not to be real, you know. How are my kids dead? It's like, how are my girls gone? How is this happening? You're telling me that all three of my daughters are dead, but yet my husband is laying in the next room? And he barely had any marks on him. So I wanted to know what was going on.
I'll give you guys a minute.
And when I walked in, he's like he couldn't look at me. He just wouldn't even look at me at first.
What happened, Todd?
He's saying that he woke up to Amber saying, Daddy, Daddy. He noticed there was smoke in the house, told her to get out of the house, went down the hall, went in the girls' room, tried to feel for him.
The room was filled with smoke.
He had found a teddy bear and thought he found one of the twins and got out and realized it wasn't one of the twins, it was a teddy bear. He said he got out of the house.
So you went back?
And I'm like, but why didn't you go back in to get the girls? And he says, well, I tried, but the fire was too much and I couldn't get back in. I was looking out the window and everybody left. There was just me and Todd in that room. And Todd asked me, he said, Stacy, what's wrong?
You okay?
And I was like, what? He said, what's wrong? Don't be sad. I said, Todd, we just lost all of our girls today, you know? He said, well, Stacy, don't worry, it'll be all right. We'll have more kids. We'll have another Amber, Carmen, and Cameron. Don't be sad.
We'll have more.
I just looked at him and I just turned around and looked out that window and thought, how did this person just say this to me? He just lost his girls too. How can you say that? It'll be all right. It was just shocking for me to hear him say that. And I just looked out the window. I never said a word back. Just looked out the window. I think I was just still in shock. But I never forgot that. Sometimes when I dream I'm in that house, the house is on fire and I'm reaching out to my girls and I sometimes have them by their hand, but they're just slipping. You know, I just can't save them. This picture here is where the girls were, the twins. One was at the door going into the room and the other one was right there next to her. So if you were to go in that room and get down and just go like that to feel, you would have gotten the twins. I mean, my girls were just like right there. But at that time, I wasn't really told exactly what the evidence was with Todd. I just didn't know until years later, I did get the case file. And that's why I think at first Todd's plan did work to keep me. Before the fire, I was going to divorce Todd. After the fire, I didn't even think about the divorce anymore. I was still in shock. And I was hanging on to the only thing I had left, and that was Todd. Christmas Eve, that morning, Todd got out of the hospital. His parents had picked him up, and I was there. Well, Todd started throwing a fit, no, I want to go to the house. And we were like, why? And he says, well, I want to go to the house. So we get there, standing in that house. It's a memory I can't get out of my head. I can't get that smell. I can sit here and I can smell that house, you know? they walk in the house, and Todd grabs this cologne, and he's dousing it back and forth. And I look, and I'm like, what are you doing, Todd? He said, I'm pouring this cologne out because the twins like the smell of it, and I want the house to smell like my cologne because they like that. I just said, no, they don't. The twins can't even walk. You know, they surely don't have a favorite cologne. And his dad says, boy, you stop doing that. They're probably still investigating this. He goes, I don't care. I don't care what they're doing. It's my house and I can do what I want. Todd walked down the hall. He's dousing it back and forth. He walks into the girls' room. He starts dousing it in the girls' room. But I didn't think anything about it. It's just cologne. I mean, if they're investigating it, surely they'll know the difference in cologne and something else. So it didn't raise any red flags to me. This is a picture of the diagram of our house. It's an evidence picture. This was the pattern that where Todd has supposedly poured kerosene on the floor. When I seen this picture, and I thought, wait a second, I've seen this before. This picture brought me back to that day, and I looked at it and I thought, how did Todd pour that cologne exactly where they're saying kerosene was poured? We had 3 kerosene lamps, and I believe Todd took those lamps off that shelf. I believe he poured them down the hallway. I believe he poured them down the girls' room, under the beds. And I think he set that fire and walked out that door. And then waited till the fire trucks come. Because they said Todd was just sitting in the yard. He was just sitting there till the fire trucks come. It's the same pour pattern as he poured that cologne. It's like he was trying to get back to the house to cover up what he had done with cologne before they started the investigation. On January the 8th of 92, Todd was arrested. And we were going over to my parents' house, which was across town. The cops turned their lights on, and they start yelling, saying, put your hands up. And Todd turned around and looked at me, and he said, Stacy,
They're going to lie to you.
whatever you hear after I get arrested, you don't believe it. You only listen to me, and you believe what I tell you. Only believe what I say, because they're going to try to make you believe a lot of stuff that's not true. I'm like, what are you talking about, Todd?
Todd Willingham, exit the car with your hands up.
And he said, just remember, only listen to me. They come over, they arrest Todd. Well, I says, why are you arresting my husband?
What are you doing to him?
And they said, Stacy, we're arresting him for murder of your 3 daughters. And I'm like, what? How can you be doing that? You know, Todd didn't do this. They just said, well, yes, he did. I started crying. You lose all 3 of your daughters at one time in a fire. And now 2 weeks later, you're supposed to believe that the man you had those babies with killed them. How are you to believe that? I can't even believe my daughters are dead, but now you want me to believe that my husband did it? How do you even process that? Todd wouldn't have hurt the girls. He wouldn't do this. That's just all I kept saying. And they took him off and they just left me there. This is a letter Todd wrote me a couple days before I was to testify for him, to tell me what I needed to say on the stand. I've never shared this letter or any letter that Todd ever wrote me. It says, Stacy, just be calm and do the best you can, and just remember all you have to do is let them know the best memories, because those are the ones that will sound best. They are trying to make me look bad. You are to make me look good. and don't be afraid to cry. So he was telling me what to say to make him look good. I did testify on Todd's behalf. I did lie on stand for Todd. I did it for Todd because that's what he asked. When I was asked if me and Todd had a fight before the fire, I said that we didn't fight, and we did. I said that Todd didn't beat me. He told me to not tell him that he had beat me with a telephone because that would make him look bad. And I told him he'd have never hurt the kids. And I've said that several times because I still just couldn't believe a parent would kill their children. I didn't want to lie, but I just felt like I didn't have a choice with him. Even though Todd was locked up, I was just scared of Todd. After Todd was found guilty and was sentenced to death row, I still believed in Todd. I still thought Todd was innocent. I just couldn't believe that a parent would do that. So I believed him. And they brought Todd out.
Wait a
And he's telling me, Stacy, don't you ever forget me. And he keeps yelling it, don't you ever forget me.
Remember me, Stacy, all right?
Todd.
I didn't do it. Don't let them take me away from you.
I went to Todd's execution. He said he was innocent, and then he turned to me and started just cussing me, saying, I hope you rot in hell, bitch. I remember that. And I remember him taking his arm and pushing it to give me a middle finger. But not one time did Todd ever say, I love my daughters. I never killed my daughters. He never mentions his daughters' names. I think that's what an innocent person would be yelling out. The next thing I know, they were touching me and telling me it was time to go. I thought that was it. Finally, it's over. Finally, I could move on. But how wrong I was. I was so wrong. After he was executed, I started seeing things in the paper about the Innocence Project. They think Todd's innocent. Texas executed an innocent man. I was told about the New Yorker article from my lawyer. When the New Yorker was published, they put in the article that it was bad science. And there's even another report from a fire expert saying that some of the stuff that they did use to prove his guilt was outdated. And the fire was either caused by a gas space heater or an electrical fire. But the gas was checked.
The West Wall, there was a space heater. It was connected to a metal pipe to the gas outlet. Again, there is no fire damage from the heater, eliminating it as a possible cause of the fire.
The gas was turned off. There was no gas going to that house. And also the electrical was checked. And there was no electrical fire.
An electrical outlet, east wall, wiring, still intact. No evidence of shorts.
There was no gas on in our house. And the electrical wire was checked. So it is arson. But still, they were yelling it from the rooftops. Cameron Todd Willingham was innocent. I felt like they were using her as a poster child to stop the death penalty in Texas. But find someone else, because this man was not innocent. He was guilty. When Todd got an execution date, I went up to the courthouse. They went to walk him out. He looked at me and he said, Stacy, you need to come see me. You need to come see me. There are things that need to be said. You best come see me. And then he walked out. And 2 weeks before he was executed, on January the 31st, I went and visited with him on death row. When I went in there, I didn't know if Todd had done it or not. That's when I found out the truth. He said, Stacy, honestly, I didn't even go in there. I didn't even try to save the girls. I just walked out of the house. He said, do you remember the last time we fought before the fire? Do you remember what you said to me? I said, yes. I turned to you and I told you I didn't care what you had to say because after Christmas I was divorcing you. He goes, right. He said, Stacy, I believed you. In my mind, I could not let you walk out of that house. You were not leaving me, and I didn't care what it took. You were not going to leave me. You were not divorcing me. And the only thing I could think of is if you didn't have Amber Corman or Cameron, you couldn't leave me and have kids with someone else. You could only have an Amber Corman and Cameron with me. And when he said that, it's like that night at the hospital come into my mind. I'm like, he told me that the day of the fire. He told me, don't worry, because we'll have another Amber Corman and Cameron. He said, I took what I knew would hurt you to make you stay with me. I'm so stupid for what I've done. After Todd had told me what he had done, he wanted me to write a letter and tell them that I would rather Todd spend life in prison than to be executed.
I don't want to die.
He said, Stacy, nobody wants to die. I said, Todd, you're right. No one wants to die. And I can guarantee you, on December 23rd, my 3 daughters did not want to die in that house. Todd didn't just take my world. Todd took my future. This man just didn't take 3 girls from me. He took everything from me. He took my girls. He took my grandkids away. He took my life and what future I might have had away from me. And I just got up and I walked out. That was the last time I ever spoke to him. I've read where people say, you defended Todd all these years. I defended Todd for 10 months, not 13 years. And then I had read where one of the reporters had come to my house and interviewed me, and I told him that Todd didn't confess to me and all that, and that wasn't true. I never said that. The people that say that I lied, they're right. I did lie on stand for Todd, but I didn't lie about what Todd told me. Todd was not innocent. This is a letter that Todd sent me the day after our visitation. I've never shared this letter until today. It says, Dear Stacy, how are you? I hope this finds you well and in good spirits. I am grateful for you coming to see me and giving me a chance to say the things I could. He says that the visit was cleansing to his conscience. Saying those things in person meant so much more. So, not only did he tell me face to face, he also wrote me. I don't really care what any report says. I don't believe a New Yorker or anything else. I believe what Todd told me. I hope telling the truth will make people realize, that Todd did murder my daughters. And it's not about the death penalty. It's not about that. Todd is guilty. And he's guilty of killing 3 little girls that everybody seems to have forgotten. No one will ever heal from losing a child. Never, ever. But in my case, you have to move on. You have to live. Either you're going to lay down and die, or you're going to get up and live. It's 2 choices you have. I chose to get up and I chose to live. But I know one day I will be back with my daughters. And that's what keeps me going.
I found 2 pictures of Patrick.
Oh, God. Okay. Do I have to touch them?
No.
Yeah. I want to see. Oh. Can you guys see that? There it is. This person, you can see what he's thinking. You know he's a monster. You know he's evil. You can tell by his facial expression. I feel like until this man is dead, I'm not free of him. Ever. Even though I'm strong now, him looking at me makes me feel like that little girl. I just feel, I don't feel strong anymore. And I kind of want to stare at these pictures until I don't feel that way. I just want to look at him and tell him to go to hell. You're a piece of trash. Just because you're miserable didn't give you the right to ruin other people's lives. You know what? The longer I look at him, he's not scary. This picture, he looks like a little punk. And in this picture, he looks like a little punk trying to pretend he's not a little punk. So, to be honest, thank you for showing me these. This is gonna help me, I think. Yeah, I'm done. I'm not scared of him anymore. What can he do? What can he do? I feel empowered holding these pictures now. Can I rip these up? He's gone. He's gone. He's gone. And if I was allowed to set a fire right here, I would. Because I feel like ripping him up, I could still see him. Look. See, I'm trying to rip him up and he's still looking at me. Monster. Evil. Demon. Goodbye. If you never believed in evil before and you hear about this, you have to believe in it now. I was in my early 20s, just got out of a bad relationship. A good friend of mine told me she had the perfect guy for me, and that I just couldn't miss this opportunity to meet him. And the guy that she introduced me to was Patrick Fowler. She was like, he's just such a good guy. You're never gonna find another guy like this. And I'm like, well, how do you know him? Oh, he's my ex. And I'm like, well, if he's so great, why aren't you with him?
We were just growing in different ways.
We were young, and there's just too much history there. But he's a great dad, he's a great guy, and I really think you two would get along.
I promise you're gonna love him.
She wouldn't give up. And I just thought at the time that she was just being a friend, looking out for me. But I think in actuality, she knew for a fact he was abusive, knew for a fact he was crazy. She used me to get away from him. But I didn't really know that part at the time. So when I met him, he lived up to everything she said. He's like, so tell me about yourself. You know, I heard you have kids, and just asked all the right questions.
I know you gotta get back to your kid, but I'm really looking forward to getting to know y'all a lot better.
I asked the same questions, but it was almost like Patrick avoided answering questions specific to him.
I just feel like I talked about me all night. I want to know more about you.
Boring.
He would always kind of, well, this is about you. You're important. You can learn about me later.
Well, maybe I can dig a little something out of you.
So that means I get to see you again?
I just feel like he didn't want me to know him. He wanted to know me, because then it would be easier to manipulate and control like evil people do. But at the time, I did not view it that way. I felt loved and seen and beautiful and appreciated and the center of his attention. And that's what, in the moment, I thought was the perfect man. I don't like to visualize him. I almost started crying. I seen his face and it just like, whew, scared the crap out of me. Oh. I don't talk about him a lot. So, us talking is just like bringing stuff back. Whew. Sorry. I didn't expect this. I think it triggers me because I just wish I would have said no. My childhood was really rough. I didn't have good family. I would have done anything to get out of there. But I had no family to turn to, no friends to turn to, no savings account, and it was just me as a single mom with my special needs son. When I met Patrick, he was like, well, why don't you just come move in with me? He lived with his mom, and when I spoke with her about it, I let her know that my plan was to save money as quick as possible and get out of there. Made very clear that I was just there to save up, get on my feet, get on out. But once I started living there, it was impossible to save money at all. We would just be normal, sitting there, having a good day, nice summer day, windows open. My son, his 2 daughters, and his stepdaughter.
I'm bored.
You're bored, huh?
All of a sudden he'll say, hey, you guys, I have a great idea. Why don't we go to Chuck E. Cheese?
Who wants to go?
Me!
Hang on a minute. We had $40 to our name. 4 kids and 2 adults. This is expensive.
I'm sorry, guys. Not today.
So I'd be like, no, we can't do that. And the kids, all of a sudden, who were just having a great day, now they're mad because they want to go to Chuck E. Cheese. And now it's all on me again. Patrick would get the kids to beg me. You never let us do anything. And I felt like he did it because he knew that if I told the kids no, I'd feel guilty. So we ended up going,
Please? Okay, go get ready.
but every time we did something, it was my money. I paid for it. Going out to eat, my money. Going to the museum, my money. Swimming, my money.
What the hell? You know I'm trying to save up for my own place.
Patrick convinced me to do so many things with the money that I would have never done that I could never get that dollar amount saved up to get out, ever.
Lighten up, okay? You need to have some fun.
At the time, I just thought it was playful. I just thought, oh, that's what dads do when you're in a relationship and you have kids. He wants to spend the money, but he wants to spend it on the kids. That's so sweet. That's such a great attribute to have. That's such a good dad. Now I know it was a part of his manipulation. Looking back, I definitely feel like this is Patrick's way of taking control of my finances because he knew I wanted out of that house. And he knew the only thing keeping me there was the finances. When I met his sister-in-law and his brother came to town, that was the very first time that I started noticing is just disdain for women. He had a brother that lived out of town, him, his wife, and they had 1 roommate. They were going to be coming to visit. So we're sitting there watching TV in the living room. His brother's wife starts complaining her back hurts, so she sits down on the floor next to the roommate. She was sitting Indian style on the floor. And the roommate of his brother's wife laid his head in her lap. Patrick flipped out.
You whore? What the hell you doing?
Patrick jumped up, and the first thing he said was, get the out of my mom's house, you whore.
You gonna touch you like that?
She's like, what is your problem, Patrick? And she's like, you're not gonna talk to me like that. You will respect me. I am the wife of your brother.
Okay, you need to watch who you're talking to like that.
Then Patrick's like, I knew you were no good. You tricked my brother into marrying you. You took my brother away from me, you ratty bitch. And he looked like the devil. His eyes were just piercing. All I could see was his teeth and his nostrils snarling and spit flying out of his mouth. Patrick looks right at his brother and says, your wife's a whore and I'm gonna whoop her ass.
Don't let this bitch whore disrespect you in my house like that? Settle down.
His brother gets in his face and tells him, you ain't doing nothing to my wife.
She playing you. You know she a whore.
That made me feel extremely uneasy. I was baffled and in shock because I had never seen him act like that before.
I I'm so sorry.
At the time, I felt like Patrick was just acting like this out of jealousy like a little kid. Looking back, Patrick views women as property. When we and Patrick first got together, he was very touchy-feely and endearing, holding my hand. I just thought he was affectionate. But as time went on, I no longer seen it as affectionate. I seen it as an obsession. In bed at night, when we laid down to go to sleep, he'd wrap his arms around me and a leg. It went from an enduring cuddle to almost a suffocating hold. If I moved, he'd wake up and squeeze me so tight, and I'd say, "You're hurting me." And he'd wake up a little bit, loosen it up. "Where are you going?"
What's the problem?
I have to go to the bathroom.
Nah, you good.
He would literally tell me I was not allowed to get up and go pee. So I wiggled out of his arms and I went pee, and when I came back in there, he's sitting up. "Where have you been? You've been gone for hours." I'm like, "No, I've been gone for like 3 whole minutes. I peed, I washed my hands, and I came back."
I swear these bitches all the same.
And then all of a sudden, whore started coming out. Whore, and he would just repeat it. "You're all bitches and whores." I was in a complete state of shock. That was the first time I've ever heard him say anything like derogatory towards me.
Did you just call me a whore?
When I got upset with him, he seen I was upset, he would, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm just not used to being in a relationship. I just love you so much. I need to make sure you're okay at all times." And he held me again. I could not sleep for that rest of that night. I feel like I was in a full-blown panic and anxiety attack for the next 2 days. He wasn't holding me to hold me anymore. Patrick was now holding me to confine me. Things just started getting eerie. That's the way that I describe it. I wasn't allowed to be alone at all. If I went to take out the trash, he was in the window staring at me eerily. I wasn't allowed to sit down at the table and eat a meal without holding his hand. I get up to go to the bathroom. It's, "Where are you going?" That's not normal. I felt Patrick was definitely unreasonably obsessed with me. And, I didn't understand why. One time, I wanted to wind down like most women do in a hot bath. I'm laying in the bathtub, enjoying myself. I got my, candles lit, thinking I'm finally alone. And I look at the doorway and I see, feet, that shadow of the 2 feet. So I'm like, "Who is that?" No response. The kids are gone, it's late, everybody's sleeping, so that has to be Patrick.
Patrick, is that you?
And it gave me this eerie feeling.
Patrick, I can see you. Stop.
Still see the pacing under the crack of the door with the light shining under, and I'm like, "Who is that?" No response. I get up and put on a towel, open the door. He's standing there.
Jesus, what are you doing?
Did you finish it?
He's like, "Why are you taking so long?" I said, "I just got in here. Why are you standing here? You've been standing there for like 6 minutes, not answering me." He just kept staring at me, and I'm like, "Okay, well, I'll be out there in a few minutes. I'm gonna finish taking this bath." And I just shut the door in his face.
I'll be done in a little while.
I finished taking my bath. He just grabs me by the back of my head and starts kissing me, really rough. He rips my towel down. And he had sex with me. He raped me. And this is the first time I've ever said that out loud. Patrick raped me. From that moment on, I was afraid of that man. I felt that Patrick, he now see me as his belonging. But I stayed because I felt trapped. I had nowhere to go. I have no family, no money, nowhere to go. What am I supposed to do? And I know it can be hard to understand from people that have never went through this before. And all I can say to you is be grateful instead of judgmental. You don't have to understand me. Just respect what I'm saying, and don't down me for it. I get a random phone call.
Hello?
And I don't recognize the number, but I answered it anyway. And there was a lady on the other end, and she asked for me by name, and that freaked me out.
Yes, is she?
I said, "Who is this?" She said, "This is Mr. Fowler's probation officer. Do you have a few moments to talk?"
Probation. Probation for what?
I was told by the probation officer that Patrick had failed to register on the sex offender registry, which I didn't even know he needed to do that, because he had sexually assaulted a minor or child under the age of 16. I went in complete shock, and the first thing I said is, "What are you talking about?" She said, "Do you have children?" I said, "Yes, I do." She told me right then and there that I had to come in and meet her, that Patrick wasn't allowed around children. And then she let me know he just got out of jail. He was incarcerated this last time for domestic violence on his ex. My whole world kind of just crumbled. This was my friend, and she told me he was never abusive. And I just felt like a knife through the heart. Like I felt so unbelievably betrayed by this girl.
Goodbye.
I got played from the very beginning. I was so mad that I kind of just hung up on her, and I went up to him and I said, "You're on probation?"
Patrick, why is there a probation officer calling me saying you're a sex offender?
Patrick told me that it wasn't like they were making it seem. He was a teenager too. There was a girl in the neighborhood that had a crush on him. She lied to him about his age, and he thought she was of age. And the girl came on to him and then said that she lied and said his hands were down her pants. So he basically was the victim. The world was against him. He didn't do anything wrong.
Leave that probation officer over me?
Patrick's probation officer said that she needed for me and him to come out to the probation office. He tried to intimidate me. He got in my face. I better say what I'm told. I better do what I'm told. Or he was like, "Or you'll be sorry."
I mean it. I swear, you better not make things worse.
The light and life was out of his eyes. He just seemed like a different person.
I didn't even do anything. All I did
Shut up!
I had an opportunity again to maybe escape, but he scared me out of taking it. He would whisper in my ear, "Say one thing, I dare you." That's a threat. So I said nothing. I went in there and I just lied. That night, I had just had enough. I didn't want a sleeping held down that night. I wanted to get away from him, and I was gonna make an attempt finally. My son's at a friend's house. I packed up a bag, and he's like, "You ain't going nowhere." And I just looked at him, I'm like, "Okay, we'll see." I don't think he thought I would leave. And then all of a sudden, snatches me up and carries me off. I'm screaming for people to help me. Oh, we were in a horrible neighborhood where you see stuff like that every day.
Please let me go.
And the communities just not get involved.
No.
It was petrifying. In that moment, I just felt like I'm nothing. Like I am absolutely nothing.
No, please.
He didn't say one word. He didn't look at me. He didn't speak to me. Anything. He just dragged me back to the house. And then when we got there, he put me in the bedroom and wouldn't let me leave. He put a chair in front of the door and said, "You ain't going anywhere anyway." That night was a game changer because that was the first time that I didn't just feel like I couldn't leave. I knew for a fact I can't leave. I did feel like Patrick was actually to the point where he was something was going to happen really soon. I didn't know when or what or how. I didn't know the extent of it. I just knew it was going to be something life-altering for me. And it wasn't going to be good. So one day, my son was in the bedroom. He's playing with a handheld video game, and Patrick keeps telling him, put it down, it's time to eat, put it down, it's time to eat.
Put the game down, it's time for breakfast. I said it's time to eat.
Just let me finish!
My son has autism, and when Patrick took the game away and said it's breakfast time, my son had a meltdown.
Give me the game!
Don't talk to him like that. I snatched it back from Patrick and gave it to my son, and told him, don't you ever touch my son or his stuff again. He looked at me, he said, you stupid bitch.
I talk to him however I want.
Next thing I know, Patrick grabbed me by my throat, picked me up in the air and slammed me on the bed. No. I told him, don't hurt me. Don't do this, Patrick. Don't do this. You can choose not to be this man. He ripped his hand back and he just punched me. He held me down and punched me, close-fisted, in my face, at least 10 to 12 times. The last thing that I remember was Patrick ran out the house and ran away. I was kind of in and out of it, and I got my phone and I called my mom. And next thing I knew, my mom was there to get me and take me to the hospital. The only thing that I could think of is, it's now or never. This is my time to get out. Patrick was on the run at large. Police couldn't find him. They couldn't even find any leads. They had no idea where to even look. And he began to call me while I was in a hospital bed. At first it would be, I just need to see you. I just want you. I just can't live without you. I'm like, you know what? You, I'm done. I'm away from you. Don't you ever call me again.
I don't want to see you again.
Patrick kept calling me and I kept saying no. And then it switched from that to, well, I'm gonna kill you.
Gonna do what?
Then he called me and he'd be like, you know, it'd be a shame if something happened to your mother. Click, hung up on me. He knows where my mom lives. My son is at my mom's house. I just sat there crying. Then he called me again. So, have you decided that you're ready to talk now? And he's like, I just need to see you one time. Please, I'll do anything. I'll turn myself in. If you just agree to come and have one last conversation with me.
Okay, I'll come if it stops all of this.
All I could think about is this a trap? Is he setting me up to where nobody will know where I am, nobody will be able to find me, and he just said he was gonna kill me? Is he just trying to lure me in? And I just decided with weighing my options, I was unsafe either way, and I was tired of the unknown. The police are telling me they can't find him, they have no leads. I just wanted it to be over. I wanted it to end. I wanted the torment to end. I couldn't live like this anymore. He promised me if I communicated with him, he would turn himself in. He gave me the address. I was petrified. Every step I took was like when you're pulling petals off a flower. He loves me not. I'm gonna die, I'm gonna live. I'm gonna die, I'm gonna live. My thought was, as soon as the door opened, I was gonna get punched in the face or stabbed and wake up tied up somewhere. But instead, when I opened the door, he hugged me and started crying.
Christina, I'm sorry.
He wanted to make sure that we were still together. I just felt like, let me let him get it out, let me let him get whatever he needs and his he had, so he would walk out this door and turn himself in.
Well, I think we could make it work, but you made me a promise.
I definitely pretended we were good again. I told him I promised you I'd come and have a conversation with you, and that you were supposed to turn yourself in.
Come on in, let's talk about it.
And he was like, the only way I'll turn myself in, and I'll believe that you're gonna wait for me, is if you get pregnant.
I'm not going nowhere until we talk this out.
He would lock the door and tell me that I better not try to run. He trapped me there for 2 straight days. That night, he did not turn himself in. He tried to get me pregnant that whole night. I just felt disgusted with myself. Then the next day, he kissed me and hugged me, and he walked into that police station. When I went home, I scrubbed my private areas until they went raw. I took a Brillo pad and I scrubbed, and I just went wanted to get him off me. Felt like a piece of meat. And, I stopped being intimate after that for a long time. It made me feel disgusting. And I think I'm having a panic attack because I all of a sudden can't breathe. And it's freaking me out, so I want to tell you instead of trying to pretend to be strong like you asked me to, because I can't breathe.
Let's get some air.
Yeah, I can't breathe right now. My apologies. I can't breathe. Yeah, please, I need fresh life. Once I found out I wasn't pregnant, I found a really nice house, me and my son. I just felt like the sun was shining on us. What I was being told from the victim witness advocates and everybody else was that he was going to be getting at least 5 to 10 years. And then all of a sudden it was, oh, he took a plea deal. He's just gonna do these couple of years and he's not getting a felony and he's getting good time and he can have probation. And I'm like, I thought he'd be gone forever. Until the letters started coming. One time, me and my son went to the zoo. And when we got home from the zoo, my son likes to check the mail. He grabs the mail out and brings it to me. Mom, thanks. And I pick it up, and it doesn't say Patrick's name on it. It was from a different inmate. But I'm like, I don't know this person. I open it up, and the first thing it said was, I know what your house looks like. I'm watching you, always watching. And I flip it over, and then there's a drawing. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, wait a minute, this is my damn house. He knows exactly where I live. I've come to find out that it was an inmate he was incarcerated with, got released. And he sent him to look for me. It was just like his way of letting me know, even when I'm in jail, you are not safe from me. He crumbled it up and threw it away, and tried to just pretend I'd never seen it. But I started receiving letters. I would get one once a week for like 2 or 3 weeks, and then all of a sudden they were coming every other day, and they did not stop. Hello? And then he started calling me, and he would threaten me on the phone calls. Patrick, is that you? Don't hang up this phone call. You know I know where you are. He started talking a lot again about babies and marriage. And said, okay, you have to go and get your wedding dress. I don't understand. Stop calling me. He got mad and said, you're gonna go look for a dress right now. And I'm like, oh crap, I need to get this done. He's gonna send whoever to come get me. And that's when my tail would go between my legs and I would just go do what I was told to do. I just felt complete despair and devastation. I knew for certain that if I didn't play along, when he got out, I was dead. Okay, I'll do it. Hey, hon, can you get the salt and pepper? That day I was up in the kitchen about to cook my son some breakfast. It was a beautiful day outside. Turned some music on. We were dancing around the kitchen. He's helping me scramble eggs. And I hear a knock at the side door.
Just a minute.
Can you get some plates? I opened that door, and I saw Patrick just standing there. I felt like all the blood was rushing to my head. I felt like I was gonna pass out. He walked in, and it was very eerie and silent. There were no words. And we just stood there staring at each other. And we just stood there for a minute. To me, it felt like hours. And then my whole body started shaking. He put his arm around me, kissed me on the forehead, and then he whispered in my ear, "Are you scared of me?" And I feel like all the blood left my body, like I must have been pale as a ghost. I took a deep breath and I told him, "No, I'm just so excited to see you."
Why your hands shaking?
I'm just surprised. I didn't want him to know that I was scared. I had to play along. I had to play happy little housewife. I was just making breakfast. It made me want to die. I'd rather been dead. He wasn't even released an entire month before things went bad. I turned to alcohol. Not proud of it at all. I was drunk every day. I'm in the kitchen and I just started slamming a couple shots. And he comes out there and he sees me.
Getting drunk, kid.
And he walks up behind me and he starts, "You're a whore." And I just ignored him.
How many guys you been with when I was locked up, huh?
The next thing I know, I'm on the ground. He was squeezing my throat. I'm punching him and trying to rip his hands off of my throat. And I can't. And I just kept telling him, "Please don't hurt me, baby. I love you." And I didn't love him, but I felt like telling that would calm him. He finally stopped slamming me. I slipped out and I ran to the living room and he grabbed the butcher knives. I heard the drawer open and I'll never forget this sound. Shh. Ever. It was so loud because it was so quiet. Then he comes in the living room and I'm just standing there begging him, "Please don't do this. Please don't hurt me. You love me." "Patrick, stop. Please, you don't want to do this."
You're the one making me do this.
"But I'm not doing anything." The next thing I know, he comes at me with the knife. He puts one to my throat in front of me. So I'm here. He has me grabbed by the back of the head and the knife's here. And he's looking at me and he's telling me, "This is all your fault." And then he says, "We all died tonight." He turned me over right there and put me on my hands and knees. One hand here, and he had a knife here. He kissed on my neck and he tells me, "You ready? You ready?" And I'm just sitting there thinking, what do I do? What do I do? He kissed my ear and he said, "I'll never not love you. See you in the afterlife." And he takes the knife. I hear him go. I just shoved my body back as hard as I could into his groin area. It hurt him a little bit. I slid out through his legs and I just took off running. I got a phone call, and when I answered it, it was the district attorney's office, and they were requesting me to come to an in-person meeting. Thank you for coming in, Christina. The first thing I heard is, "Okay, we'll cut to the chase. Patrick accepted a plea deal. He got 2 years. That's it."
Are you out of your mind?
That's what my life is worth, 2 years. The shock, bam, hit me. I heard nothing else they said to me. Charlie Brown, womp, 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 womp. I'm just looking around at all of them with disdain. I didn't feel protected. I felt like the last time he was incarcerated for the same thing, for abuse of me, he was allowed to stalk me from behind bars.
I'm sorry, miss, but he'll do time, and that's what we needed to make sure of.
I sat straight up, and I leaned forward like this, and I looked them dead in their eyes, and I told them, "Remember me. Remember my face, remember my name, and remember my son's smile. Because you're releasing a monster. I've done all I can do except for be in the morgue. And you're gonna let him out? He will kill me, and if he can't find me, Lord have mercy on whatever poor soul he tricks into letting them in their life. Because if he can't find and kill me, he's going to kill somebody. He's obsessive.
You find me dead in a couple years, it's gonna be your fault."
They promised me that absolutely when he would be getting released, I would be notified. There would be no surprises, no shock factor. We promise you this, and didn't happen that way. somewhere in March 2016. Flowers blooming, grass cut smell, windows open. It's bliss for me. And I turn on the TV and I see him, and then it's all gone.
Fowler is accused of killing his friend Jessica Ellenberger and her daughter Madison Marshall. He told police he and Jessie got into a fight. He felt she disrespected him, so he stabbed her 26 times.
He had been out of prison for 3 weeks. And within 3 weeks, just like I told them, he will kill somebody within 30 days. It was 3 weeks.
Mr. Fowler stated that while this was going on, Miss Marshall was screaming for her mother. That's when he stabbed Maddie twice.
And I turn it up, and it says, the first thing I heard, brutally murdered in her home, alongside her daughter. And then they put up a picture of Maddie. I was standing, and I just dropped to my knees.
According to the criminal complaint, Fowler told police he watched as each of them took their last breath, and he thought of killing himself.
She was brutally stabbed over 20 times, and I'm like, he did it, he did it, he did it. It was him, he did it, and I couldn't stop. He did it, he killed her, Why did he kill her? And I didn't even know he was released. I'm thinking he's still in prison. They didn't call me, I didn't get the automated call. I had no clue that I was in danger. So then my thought is, oh my God, I could be dead right now if he would have found me, but I moved.
Fowler used Maddie's coloring books to start the house on fire, and after setting it on fire, he walked out the front door, taking Easter candy from the house with him.
He killed her the same way he said he was gonna kill me. He stabbed her to death. He said he was gonna stab me to death, stab my son, and then kill himself. And so it was just like, that should be me. I should be dead, not her. If I could trade places with her, I would. I would trade places with her in a heartbeat so that her daughter could live. I don't understand how somebody can be such a monster. Evil is real, and it's inside of people. He's an animal.
We, the jury, find the defendant Patrick Fowler guilty.
Patrick Fowler gives a blank stare to the judge after the guilty decision comes just minutes after the jury reviews a video of Fowler confessing to the crimes.
I grabbed the knife and a monster came out of me.
What? Oh my God, he said it. Never seen that footage. He admitted he's a monster. He said, I let the monster come out. That's exactly how I felt. I felt like he was fighting the monster, and he let the monster win. It was his choice to let the monster win. I can't believe that. Unbelievable. I wish I would have seen that a long time ago, instead of being scared to watch all the footage. It gives me some type of peace of mind because I know he knows what he did. I know he knows that he's a monster. Patrick still haunts me in my dreams. I have nightmares once or twice a month. I'm not gonna have nightmares about him anymore. He admitted it. That's my final step. He admitted he's a monster. And I'm really glad that I came here and seen it because I would have never seen it. Patrick Fowler is a coward. Patrick Fowler is a monster by choice. And Patrick Fowler is exactly where he needs to be.